Good morning, viewers. Yes, as I was saying, morning on open mic night, but it's night time somewhere in this world. Can't believe I'm doing this at 6 o'clock in the bloody morning. You know, I'll tell you one thing. I do actually miss pay-per-views on a Saturday. At least one thing I've got nothing to do today, which is a bonus. I think I need to recuperate after that. And I feel like I've had the match more than anything. I tell you one thing, I'm glad I had my coffee. Glad I had my water. Glad I got my money's worth. Not just by those drinks, I mean like... I'll tell you one thing though, right? I give you benefit of the doubt. I want to say this. This is why I like AEW pay-per-views. It's because you get more money for your value, and now I feel like I'm actually fucking crying. As weird as it seems, I feel like I want to fucking cry. Because it upsets me how much you look at WWE pay-per-views, right? This is them, right? They give you less for your money for what you pay for. I mean, like attending the shows. You get 5 matches, right? I look at AEW and how the freaking hell fuck people are not blown away with what AEW has to offer. Yeah, there's a few of you on YouTube, X, Threads, everyone I respect, even TikTok, do give AEW a light. You know, it's a refreshing change to have that interaction, obviously. But when I look at Double or Nothing today, well, matter of speaking, what finished like fucking 5:30 in the morning, my time that is, you get more for your value. And when Will Ospreay stated a fact that no one can go toe to toe with him on their roster, he's freaking living proof what he fucking did tonight. You know, no one can fucking do what he does to take him on. You know, he don't disrespect the roster, he's just stating a fact, and he's living fucking proof. Tonight is one of my favourite Double or Nothings I've watched since, I would say, the first one. Right? This is just freaking insane. Right? To the point, I cannot stop thinking how good tonight was. I can't stress you enough. If people are literally not giving AEW a chance in their wrestling fandom hearts and focus on WWE, what they're giving you for your fucking money, you know, I'm not being funny. When I look at these matches, right, you wonder why I follow this company. You know, sometimes I literally, I'm trying to find words to say. If people don't give AEW a chance, this is why it upsets me. Because, yes, we know they haven't been around a while. The booking recently has been phenomenal. This fucking event's been phenomenal. You know? I look at this Double or Nothing one we've just had tonight. And yet, fair enough, it went head to head with NXT Battlegrounds. But I look at Double or Nothing as their version of WrestleMania. Granted. This delivered more than WrestleMania over 2 fucking nights. You know? If AEW could stick this all on one night, WWE should. And that's just me being honest. Right? It annoys the freaking fuck out of me how much people do not realise and appreciate what's given to you as a wrestling fan. Yes, people may look to other companies, don't get me wrong, but at the moment, I feel like with WWE, like I've done a video on AEW can capitalise on where WWE is making mistakes. Right? I've never been emotional this much over wrestling. It's not because I'm fucking tired. I've had plenty of coffee. But still got some coffee left, actually. You know? It hurts me seeing people get hurt with their money situation, where they want to invest. This is where AEW should be capitalising, is, which they are doing by the looks of it, you're giving more matches. You are literally giving more matches, more storytelling in the matches, you know? Like you literally had the star of the card on the buy-in. You know? You had the internet sensation, what people love, Holly Cameron, Anna Jay versus Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. And then you had Holly Cameron and Anna Jay getting the victory of that. You know? It was a decent pre-show match. You know? I'm not freaking complaining, right? This is the problem where it lies, right? AEW does not have a women's tag team division as of yet, but it seems like they're starting to build towards it. WWE can't even build their own women's tag team division because you throw random tag team matches that does not elevate towards the women's tag team titles. You know? And then you literally look at RPG Vice versus Crew versus Bandido. I can never Bandido or whatever his name is. AR Fox and Los. Oh, I'm butchering that name up. I know that for a fact. That was actually a bloody good match, decent one at that. Then we had the opening match of the card, which I was really surprised how early on in the card this was. You had Jamie Hayter versus Mercedes Moné for the final of the Owen Arts tournament, women's tournament. You know? Yeah, fair enough, people predicted, Mercedes is going to win it. You know? But it was not... I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you this much for free. When I say the British scene here in the United Kingdom, right, has lost many of their stars due to obviously WWE, but we've literally had people through the next generation of the stars, such as like Jamie Hayter. She went toe to toe with Mercedes Moné, if not took it to the limits. You know, that freaking opener. You know, the thing was, the fans are legitimately behind it. It was like so 50-50 between them both. And I tell you one thing, you know, this is why I say I'm passionate about women's wrestling. Matches like this are done right. They've told a story in that match. You know, I know this sounds weird to bring up, right? When I've said in the past that Mercedes Moné used to be called Sasha Banks in WWE. She used to have like pretty much felt like she was having 3-minute matches. Fair enough, she had some decent pay-per-view matches. You know, but they were too gimmicky, even though she had good matches. I loved her when she was in the likes of NXT. Obviously facing Bayley, the likes of Becky Lynch back in the day. Same with the likes of Charlotte back in the day. Yeah, Charlotte Flair. And then I look at when she came to the main roster, weren't a fan of it. Even though, yeah, she had the title, but it felt like she didn't have free reign to be herself. But when she's gone to the likes of AEW, and she's put in clinic of matches after matches after matches. You know? That was fucking beautiful match. God, I must be getting the menopause or something. You know, this is what fucking does my head in, right? That's why I wear my heart on my sleeve. Yeah, fair enough, it's a short sleeve top, but guys, it angers me, it upsets me that people don't give AEW a chance. If they don't give if they're a true wrestling fan, they will give them a fucking chance. And it annoys me when you get to see people online like saying, "Oh, AEW shit, it's full of ex-WWE stars. Oh, the booking's crap. Oh, this. Angers me. You know, and I'll tell you one thing, I won't mind this. I know this is a massive risk, but it could pay off dividends if it's done right. Like I say, the women's division in the likes of AEW are thriving at the moment. Like I'm on about that women's match that I've just on about. Right? I know I'm going a bit off topic. Fucking emotional wreck over this. You know, that's what. Oh, take a breather. I have. What I want to say is, fair enough, WWE have decent women's matches to a point at times. You know, I can't fault some of the matches, but yeah, fair enough to focus on the entertainment side of things. But now WWE has confirmed an all-women's pay-per-view. It was all speculated when I did my Women's Evolution, when I said they need to up their game, up their level, go to the next level with the women's division. I'm being fucking serious. If these two women can put a clinic of a match on, and people think, oh yeah, Mercedes taking everything. Every time she's literally faced someone, she's had clinical matches, apart from the likes of Britt Baker. Wasn't a fan of that match at Wembley. It was one of the worst matches I've seen in any women's match. And I looked to this and I'm thinking, could AEW risk doing an all-women's pay-per-view? Could they do it? Could they branch out to do a all-women's, all-brand? Now, this doesn't mean, this is what I feel like, in a way, with Tony Khan. Yes, he's got billions of dollars. But if you get clinic of matches of like this caliber, and work with someone like the likes, because obviously Will Ospreay's got connections with the likes of Dan Reed, who runs the likes of Pro Wrestling Eve. Like he said in an interview about all women's wrestling sort of thing, he wouldn't mind on a big scale. That's definitely a big hint that he could do, even though he's doing Tony Khan at the moment is doing sort of like a working relationship with Rev Pro, because obviously the way they've been. Why don't you do an all women's pay-per-view with Pro Wrestling Eve? You know, because you're elevating the British women as well, don't get me wrong, but you look, even though the likes of Mercedes Moné won that match, I couldn't tell which way it was going to go. You know, you could have literally gone predictable, like, yeah, fair enough, she could win the championship and go to aim towards the women's championship. Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm. We knew full well they were teasing towards like Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné. This is going to be champion versus champion. This is going to be a clinical match at All In. But I feel like there's going to be another pathway towards Jamie Hayter probably getting the title at Forbidden Door. If you know what I mean. Instead of going in as champion, coming out as champion. I'm hoping that happens. Because at the end of the day, I do like... I know I've gone a bit too much on the women's match, but still. And then we've literally... That's what I mean. It's like you've literally got something there. There's a long booking storyline going forward. I'm intrigued to see how this all pans out. I'm hoping when I go Forbidden Door, which the vlog will be on my Gavanox channel, that I have a decent card to go to. No matches have been confirmed. Sort of matches have been teased, but could not be panning that way. So yeah. Next match of the card, FTR versus Nigel McGuinness. I thought this was actually another good match. The way you literally built FTR from faces of the tag team division to how to put it? You managed to adapt to be heels into this match, and it was phenomenal. Nigel still got it in the ring. That was such a poetic match. It was a lot of storytelling in that match between FTR, between the likes of Daniel Garcia, between Nigel McGuinness. It's just like so much storytelling in this match, and I'm like, but you may have thought that match had gone on too long. I didn't. I literally, for them to be elevated to the next level, everyone was expecting Edge to come back. I don't think he's going to come back till All Out now, because obviously being Canada, that could be leading something to that. I could be wrong, because at the end of the day, it's so unpredictable with AEW at the moment. You're gonna literally complain about this match, but with the likes of FTR getting the victory, I'm okay with that. Then you have the likes of Ricochet versus... This was bloodthirsty. Ricochet and Mark Briscoe for the stretch match. And I would literally say this is an interesting match. It's literally testing Ricochet's abilities to the point where you didn't know what Ricochet offense he actually had and so on. But it's, as I say, it was literally insane match just to watch it in its full entirety. And then Ricochet got the victory towards the end. I didn't like the sort of outcome, but you sort of saw the outcome. Then you have the likes of Hurt Syndicate. You have the likes of Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley versus Sammy Guevara and Justin Reynolds. Right? The Sons of Texas. Right? I don't like the name Sons of Texas, but what I can take away from this match, it was interesting. It was a good match, don't get me wrong. You finally had Bobby Lashley liking the likes of MJF, what he actually had to offer. But it was actually a good match. The thing is, I feel like he'll probably go under the radar, and that's just me being honest. Then we had the Continental Championship match with a Speedball Mike Bailey and Kanushka Okada. Sorry, Kanushka. I can never pronounce his name. I do apologise. Okada. I just want to say, good match. Absolutely phenomenal match. I think that's I can't remember the last time Okada actually defended that title, but I feel like he should defend it a lot more now. And I look at the way Mike Bailey was in that match, absolutely freaking amazing. You know, this kid's got something. To the point where literally you couldn't tell which way it was going to go. Does Mike Bailey deserve the title straight away? Or do they wait for him to win a title? I feel like he's still, I'm not saying learning his craft, that would be an insult, because I know he's done it for a while now. But he's new to AEW. You don't want to pull him over too quickly because people will literally get burned out with him so quickly. And then you look at the likes of Tony Storm versus Mina. I just want to say this. Tony Storm and Mina was a solid another women's match on the card. You know, I'm really, really intrigued with this, the way it was going to go. Because I was dumbfounded by this. The big long kiss at the end. Yeah, that's going to get people talking. But you literally... It's literally... How to put it? I felt like you literally had the Stardom version of Tony Storm. And it's just mind-blowing. I was expecting Mariah May to show up, but she didn't show up. Mina Shakura, however you pronounce her surname. I'm terrible at names I cannot pronounce. But when I look at the likes of the way this match was done, it was beautifully done. It was literally beautifully done. Then you literally had the Anarchy in the Arena match between, obviously, the likes of Kenny Omega, Willow Nightingale, Swerve Strickland, and the Ops. Basically is name I do not want to butcher, Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs versus Death Riders, which is basically John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli. Not butchering a woman's name, I do apologise. The Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson. And another one I do not want to butcher, because I know people are going to bloody laugh at me over that. I was thinking, where's Gabe Kidd? I thought the likes of Eddie Kingston's going to come back. I thought the likes of, the thing is with this match, I tell you one thing. I tell you how much this for free. I feel like, yeah, fair enough, this match was announced when they did announce it. I felt just by the music change from Martin McSoda to Drowning Pool when the bodies hit the floor, I felt like this is a not cheap, I do apologise for saying that, their way of tributing Sabu. I felt that's the reason why they've done like the music change, because if I remember rightly, with ECW TNT run, that was the theme music, if I recall. Or was it like a one night stand? I can't remember if it was TNT or someone like that. That literally just not TNT, TNN, ECW. You know, I felt like that was a massive tribute to Sabu, that match. That's the only reason why I feel like they've done that match, even though, yes, it's a great match. You know, it's one of the best, if not the best one they've done so far. Instead of, like, Anarchy, like, in the stadium, it's Anarchy in the rules. I feel like it, All In, we should have something like with the stadium, where they used to go all around the stadium. That would be actually pretty interesting. Some people might say this match went on too long. I think it just had the right amount of time. I feel like a lot of it was ad-libbed, obviously. The interesting fact is when you literally had the likes of Willow Nightingale padlocked to the ring post by Rhea. That was interesting. You had interesting spots. You had the likes of Kenny Omega having thumbtacks in his mouth, waiting for the internet people to complain about that. But yeah, it's an interesting way they're actually building the likes of Gabe Kidd. If you're wondering why I just jumped out of my skin, my cat just decided to jump on my table. So yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, I look at, what you call it, this match was actually really, really good. I enjoyed it. It's literally just insane. It's so much to talk about in one match that I don't know how to word everything that was going off. But it's literally insane. Absolutely insane. Absolute carnage. To the point where we literally had Shane Strickland, Kenny Omega, the Ops, and Willow Nightingale getting the victory. Now, that was just insane. And that was actually absolutely nuts. Then we literally had the 3-on-3 match, 6-man tag match, whatever you want to class it as, Paragon, which is basically Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, Adam Cole, versus Josh Alexander, Kyle Fletcher, and Kashu. I can never pronounce his name. I'm not going to even tempt it. Don Callis family won that one. I just want to say this. Wasn't a fan of this match. Tell you the truth, I was not a fan of the match. It's not the people that was actually in it. It's just that it didn't technically serve a purpose. You could have easily technically put this on the buy-in, but nope. I don't mind the likes of Josh Alexander. I don't mind the likes of Kyle Fletcher. I feel like this was beneath Kyle Fletcher, even though the likes he's in the Don Callis family. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind the likes of Adam Cole. I don't mind the likes of Roderick Strong. I don't mind the likes of Kyle Fletcher. I mean, Kyle O'Reilly. But I feel like it was that cool down match from what we've just witnessed. Then we'll go on to the main event. Absolutely clinging off the main event. Did not know which way this was going to go. As you can tell when I did that video towards Will Ospreay, saying he doesn't need a world title. Then I did a video on Hangman Adam Page. I feel like I literally put my hands up. I'm like, on that video, I'm literally like, okay. What have I just witnessed? Literally thinking, okay, hands up, I was wrong. Okay, Will Ospreay deserves it. Lo and behold, then I'm thinking, I do not know which way it's going to go. And literally, this match is literally living freaking fucking proof. You know, yet again, a British wrestler that has literally elevated the likes of... I tell you one thing, and I'll tell you this for free. This is the best work I've seen Hangman Adam Page have the likes of Will Ospreay helping him. He's had the likes of Shane Strickland, Swerve Strickland, whatever you want to class him under, helping him. My God, this match was so good. You know, I was surprised Paige got the victory. I was surprised Will Ospreay didn't get the victory. Wait a minute, that's the same thing. But if you know what I mean, it just... I'm literally burned out with this match. It was so good. I watched the media thing. Well, I can't say tomorrow because it's like you can work out the time. But I'm just blown away with tonight. You know. God, I'm blown away. You know, I'm looking as weeks progress towards Forbidden Door. I'm looking forward to going with my good old friend Paddy. TNS Attitude will probably be joining us a few times, which is handy. Another friend, you know. I'm going, guys. I'm getting too emotional again over this. Definitely must be the menopause with me. I'm joking, guys, but that's what I mean. I think Will Ospreay is probably doing the same pathway as Jamie Hayter, finding a different pathway to the title, lifting it at Forbidden Door. If he doesn't lift, I'm really surprised if Will Ospreay's not in the main event at Forbidden Door, lifting that title with Jamie Hayter in the ring as well. Them two lifting it proud. I'm intrigued. I really am intrigued. It leaves me wide open to think, okay, what are you going to do this coming Dynamite? And they've already confirmed, like, fight for the, I think it's Fighter Fest, or whatever it's called, TV special. 4 hours long. That's a free for view. This is another thing that AEW is going to capitalise on. You know? If they're doing a 4-hour special of Dynamite, people need to start watching it, right? You just think, if one thing that I really feel like hard done by, right, as well, I'll mention it. WWE fans are getting ripped off to the point where they're doing they're doing their PLEs as long as SmackDown, or if not, shorter. Why? So this is where I feel like AEW can capitalise. If they're doing free per views, TV specials, and they're doing them 4 hours long, I think people need to open their eyes and watch a different company. You know, because I feel like they are taking risks to get fans. And I'm all for this. If they are doing TV special shows from that one onwards, and the summer blockbuster, and so on, and they're making these free per views, cannot complain at all. Because you're spoiled for choice for wrestling then. You know, this is where they're upping their market, they're upping their game. They've upped their game a lot recently, and people need to start latching onto it. You complain about WWE, fair enough, like myself. But that's why I watch other things as well. But you got to understand, where I'm saying this, you've got to understand this, that if you are complaining about WWE's prices, you're complaining about this other stuff, look elsewhere as well. Don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you stop watching WWE. Start looking everywhere else. Because they are providing you with wrestling left, right and centre. But, whoa. What a night, guys. What a night. Well, what an early morning for me. But, all I gotta say is, guys, thank you ever so much for joining into my review of this very good pay-per-view. But until next time, guys, catch you guys soon.